So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we all know who Dominique Alexander is. The wife beater, baby shaker, maybe activist is the word that some people might use, but we definitely know that's not true. Some people may call him minister, but we also know that that's a complete crock of horse shit. Dominique Alexander, the con artist. That's my favorite way to describe him because that's what his entire organization is. We all know who Dominique Alexander is now. Adigan threat. Remember that guy? Adigan, his basically thug of a security officer with a rap sheet almost as long as Dominique Alexander himself. They're following each other's footsteps. This is something where you need to be a degenerate piece of shit to be a part of Nagan. It's definitely a requirement, okay? Now, we all know that this is true about the organization, and now we just have a little bit more evidence of him being a complete con artist because he sent a very strongly worded message to the Frisco ISD superintendent. Okay, I forgot his name is Waldrip. I had to go search it up. Right, he sent a very strongly worded email to that man, almost insinuating possible violence if Karmelo Anthony is not allowed to graduate. Okay, and this is what doesn't really, well, it does make sense to me. Let me rephrase that. This is what further proves that Dominique Alexander is here for his own personal gain. Because if you actually cared about that boy, that dumbass Karmelo, if you really cared about him, you would not be putting his name and his family in this type of heated situation. You're going to threaten the school district for him to graduate so that you can have some optics and that you can look good. This is not going to fucking help Karmelo. You know what I mean? Like, come on. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out this email, this strongly worded email that Dominique sent, because it might surprise you. But at this point, what is surprising about Dominique? Let's check this shit out. All right, now let's get straight into the email. Again, sorry, it's a little blurry. It's been copied and pasted and compressed a million times, so it just looks like this at this point, okay? I don't have the original email. Now, let's go ahead and check this out. It starts off with, Dear Dr. Waldrip. Okay, now remember, it's the white guy, superintendent. I think he has a bald head, glasses, that guy. The one who's been coming under fire from every direction, from the Metcalf family, from Dominique Alexander, from the media. Bro is not having a good time this summer. I will tell you that much. This summer is looking really tough for that superintendent right now. But anyways, it goes on and says, I'm writing to follow up on a letter our organization sent earlier this week regarding blankety blankety blank. To date, we have received no response from your office. This silence is troubling, especially in light of the fact that our initial communication was offered as an olive branch intended to open dialogue rooted in peace, fairness, and community partnership. Now, this is Dominique Alexander definitely leaning into that chat GPT, you know what I'm saying? Really just full hog leaning into it at this point, trying to sound aggressive but not aggressive at the same time. Now, remember, the Metcalf family has been knocking on the door of this school or this school district. Dominique Alexander has been knocking on the door of this school district, but this was a little bit before the Metcalf family had their issue, okay? So he came in real early, basically on some threatening shit. Let's move forward. It is deeply disheartening that despite the gravity of this matter and our willingness to pursue a collaborative path forward, there has been no acknowledgement or effort to engage. We had hoped to avoid escalation and find a resolution that reflects the best for Frisco ISD values. Unfortunately, your continued lack of response gives us the impression that this district is prepared to move forward with decisions that will trample on the due process rights of blank. Now, obviously, blank is Karmelo Anthony, I'm assuming. It's a lot redacted right there. But, we wanted to avoid escalation. What does that mean? What does that mean? You're going to start burning shit? You're going to start, or do you just mean escalation as in a peaceful protest? What does that mean? And then he said, we want it to align with the Frisco ISD values. I mean, Isn't that just regular human values of not like hurting people? It just sounds a little threatening to me. Now, when he says the part right here that your district is prepared to move forward with decisions that will trample on due process, he's talking about the whole expulsion situation. So you have to just use your context clues in this one. He's talking about the expulsion of Carmelo Anthony. Imagine bending over, right? Letting Dominique Alexander come into your office and smack you on the ass and tell you, no, bad boy, don't do that. I would crash out. Ain't no way someone like Dominique Alexander could bully me into changing my decision. That's insane. But that's what this is looking like. Mr. Waldrip, everybody's on your head top at this point. You sound like a pussy to me. Listen, outside looking in, but you sound like a fucking pussy. Dominique, of all people, you bent over and let him smack you and say, with the yardstick, you let him smack you with the yardstick. That ain't that some shit. I thought they stopped doing that in schools, but I guess they still do it now. Shit. Let's move forward. This is not the path we wish to take, but we cannot and will not sit idle while blank rights are dismissed. The Next Generation Action Network exists to ensure equity, fairness, and civil rights are upheld. And if necessary, we are prepared to call for a full-scale public protest in the city of Frisco against the unjust handling of this matter by Frisco ISD. It's not too late to do the right thing. We again urge you to redacted. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think he's just angry trying to pursue justice and what he thinks is right? Or do you think this is a direct threat saying that we're going to tear some shit up? Okay? Because the way he's saying it, it almost sounds like It almost sounds like Nagan is the muscle in the situation. Well, if you force our hand, we might have to do something. Bro, just do your little bullshit protest with 30 people and go back home, okay? That's why freedom of speech is so beautiful. If it's bullshit, nobody's going to fucking come out and turn out to support you. So go ahead, run your little protest down the street with 30 dumbasses to follow you, 15 of which are fucking employees, and then go home and feel like you did something good for your community. You know? That's what you should do. Other than that, this sounds like a threat. But let us move forward. We extended this final opportunity to resolve this with dignity and mutual respect. But if you continue to choose silence over action, know that we will raise our collective voice not out of anger, but out of love for justice. Respectfully, Minister Dominique Alexander, President and founder of Next Generation Action Network. Then he puts his information down here. Minister Dominique Alexander, President and CEO of Next Generation Action Network. Might as well, listen, if I had whiteout, you could just white out everything from from President and CEO of Next Generation Action all the way to the front. None of that means shit. You take that shit on your job application for a resume, they're going to spit in your face, not on purpose, but by accident because they're laughing too hard. You're a fucking joke. That credential doesn't work anywhere other than Nagan. If you work for Nagan, guess what? If you need another job, that work history, you better have a really good past because that's not going to do much for you. But anyways, it goes down. It says, I'm aware this school district matter, but I wanted to include the city officials to be aware of it. So I think he's also tagging people to the email. So he sent it to the ISD school district, and now he's tagging other officials just because he thinks this is the biggest thing in the world. You know, Dominique Alexander is trash. He's a sorry excuse of a human being. That's all I could really say. But anyways, folks, I love you guys. I'm going to get back with you guys real soon because every day something's going to be happening. Every other day. And there's a lot of emails surrounding the Metcalf family that we may go into showing the inner workings of what's happening in the Frisco ISD school district. Apparently, there are hundreds upon hundreds of emails bringing up the Metcalf family, bringing up the Anthony family. Okay? Now, why would that even be a situation? You know, this school is feeling the pressure from outside forces. You know, I have an opinion. CNN has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, and the school district is fucking going through it. But anyways, you guys let me know what you think. Do you think Dominique Alexander is a con man or a true man of God? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you real soon. Stay inside, stay safe. Keep your kids away from fucking con artists. You know the deal. I'll see you real soon. Peace.